Hello everyone and welcome to the part 12 of this video series. Now from this video we are going to start rendering our shorts here. In this video we are just going to make two navigation bar here. First will be this top bar and second will be this bottom bar. Inside that we have some filters here, but we are going to use only this filter tag. But we are going to make all this UI in this video. So yeah, in this video we are going to do this much, and from the next videos we are going to start rendering our shorts here. Okay, so this is how it is going to look like. We have many things to do here, so we are going to do one by one here. Okay, but first thing we are going to do is to make our new bar here. So let's go here, and one more thing I wanted to say that here I'm just using server action to upload our data. Now when we start working on our editing part, that means when we start editing our short, then I'm going to use mutation from React query here to make our upload or edit our upload, okay, instead of simply using server actions. So in the later part we are going to do some changes in this code, but for right now this is working and we are going to just leave it. We are going to come back later and we are going to change some things here. Okay, so now let's go to our app folder here, and inside that I'm going to make one more folder inside small braces, and that would be show. This will not be a specific page, this will just be a folder. Inside that I'm going to write my other folders. This will just distinguish our pages from upload and login and register pages. Okay, so most of the work now we are going to do in this folder. Now inside this I'm going to make components. Okay, so these are the components that we are going to use at many places. Okay, and yeah, now let's make first component, and that would be home page. Okay, .tsx, and after that let's go here and add this component inside our page.tsx. so now we do not need all these things. Now we are going to write our home page here and remove these as well and these as well. Okay, let's import this again. Okay, after that start your server again. So I'm going to write npm run dev. Now this is giving us an error. Let's go here. So I think the problem is coming from this component. I'm just going to go here and I'm going to rename this component to show page. I think the problem is with the naming here, so I'm just going to rename here, and after that I can go back to here and remove this and import it again as show page. Okay, and now we should not have any kind of problems. Okay, as you can see now we have our page over here. Now let's go again to this page. We can remove this and now we can work on this. So after this first component that we are going to make here is our navbar. Okay, so we can write our navbar here .tsx. Okay, and now we can go here and here we can add our navbar. Okay, navbar. Now let's go to the navbar again and let's start writing our JSX. So give this div a class name of maxw of 1400 pixels, px10, text sm, okay, flex item center, justify between, and py4. After that inside this div add one more div, give this a class name of flex item center space x5, so this, and font medium. Now inside this div add a p tag and give this class name as well, and that would be flex item center space x1, and inside this we are going to add a span and we can add find designer. Okay, and then one more span. Inside that we are going to have an icon which will be chevron down. Give the size of 12 pixels and this should look something like this, and let's give this space x2. Okay, Now I'm going to replace this with link from next link, okay, and give this href to be designer, okay. And these are some specific pages on the Dribble, and we do not actually need to make them, but I'm just going to make those pages and add an image instead of making whole page, because these pages does not have to do anything with our short, okay. So I'm just going to make pages and add an image in these routes, okay. After that we can just duplicate this, and we can remove this chevron down and duplicate this 2 more times, add here inspiration, okay. Now we should have something like this. After that, below this div, add a div. Inside that, add this svg, which you can copy that from my GitHub. So this is the svg of Dribble. Okay, so I'm just going to collapse this, and this is going to look like this. After that, below this div, make one more div and give this a class name of flags item center space x6, and inside this add one more div, give this class name as well, flags item center space x1 rounded full and p of 10 pixels and bg slate of 100, okay. Now inside this div add a search icon from lucid direct, size will be of 16 pixels, and give this a class name and write text neutral of 600, okay. Now after this, below this I'm going to add an input, type will be text, and add a class name here that would be focus outline none bj transparent, okay. Then add a placeholder here in which write search, and for now this will be enough. When we start working on our searching part, we are going to add some more in this input tag, okay. Now after that, below this div add one more div, okay, and give this a class name of p of 10 pixels and px4 border of 1 pixels, border neutral of 200, rounded full, font medium, and inside that we can add a button here. So inside that we can write share work, okay. And after that, let's go above, and here we are going to import use session. So import use session from Next.Auth, and then we can get our session here. So we can write const is equals to use session, and from this I only want a status, so I'm going to get the status, and below this div I'm going to use status. If this is equals to authenticated, then we are going to have something like this. I'm going to add this later, otherwise we are going to have a div, and inside that, and give this div a class name of w 40 pixels, h of 40 pixels, flex item center, text white, rounded full, and relative. And inside this we are going to add an image, so we can add an image here from next image. src will be user pic, so user.jpg. After that, width will be of 40 and height will be of 40, and alt value will be user. Now after that, we can remove this div and we can use link here, okay, and href will be slash profile slash data. So let's get our data here, let's go below. So data dot user dot name, so we are going to redirect the user to this page if the user is logged in. Now we can copy this class name and paste it here, okay, and after that inside this link we can have a p tag, give this a class name of text to Excel, and inside that we can write data dot user dot name, and we are going to use the first character, so caret 0. Now let's save and let's see how this is looking. Okay, so this actually works in the client component, so we can make this a client component. Use client. Okay, and this is how it is looking now. Okay, and now let's go here again, and we are going to replace this div with the link as well. Href will be slash uploads slash new. Okay, replace this with outline none. Okay, outline none. Now let's go here, and this is our neighbor, and this is what we wanted. Now when I click on this, I'll be redirected to the upload page, but since I am not logged in, I'll be redirected to the login page. Let's log in here. Okay, so now I have logged in here, and our profile is not visible. Let's go here, and here instead of P, actually if the user is authenticated and if we have the image, we can add one more condition here. If the data dot user dot image is available, then we are going to use an image here. Okay, let's copy this from here and paste here. Okay, and otherwise we are going to have this. Okay, now let's first solve this condition, so where we are actually not seeing our user profile. So let's make this text black. Okay, so this is our first character. I think I need to add bg color something, so I'm going to add bg orange 500. Okay, and let's make this white again. Okay, so justify center. Okay, now this is good. Now I'm going to remove this and uncomment this, and we should have an image here, so I'm going to use image URL. So we can add data dot user dot image, and now we should get an error something like this, since we have to add this domain name in our next config. So let's go here, and here we have to add images remote patterns, and inside that we can write host name, and that would be this, and we can also write the protocols, which will be HTTPS, and the path name. So we just need to add these two conditions, and now let's save, and we should now get our image. As you can see, this is the image from my GitHub. And now let's go again to our navbar here, and I'm going to make this rounded full. So class name rounded full, and here as well. Okay, and now this is good. Okay, and now with this done, let's make this responsive as well. So I can go here, and here I can write maxmd hidden, and for this search input I'm going to add maxmd hidden, and this as well. So this share work maxmd hidden. Okay, now let's see how this is looking. So I think this is good enough. So we can write here, we can make a folder here that would be navbar. So nav, inside it we can move this navbar, and here I can add one more component here that would be user profile popup .tsx. Now we are going to pass some props here, so we can remove this, and we can write open profile model, and this will be a type of boolean, so we can write open profile model, and this will be type of boolean. Now inside this we are going to get our data from session, so we can write data is equals to use session And now let's go below, and now inside this we can give this a class name of absolute top 10, not 10%, top 10, write 4 and p5, py10, bg white, rounded 3xl, z50, text black, okay, and w300 pixels. Then we are going to add a custom class name here, that would be show, then text base transition all, ease in, duration will be of 100 milliseconds, open profile model is true, then this will be visible and opacity will be 100, otherwise invisible, and opacity will be 0. Now inside this div make one more div. We give this class name of flex call item center justify center, and inside this make one more div, give this class name as well of w50 pixels and h of 50 pixels, and flex item center justify center text white rounded full, bg orange of 600 sorry, and position related. And inside that we are going to write the same thing that we have done here. So I'm just going to copy this from here and paste here, and we can add a question mark here and here as well and here as well. And let's import the image here, so we can write import image. Okay, now after that below this div add h1 tag, give this a class name of text center font medium text base and my2. Now after that inside that we can write data dot user dot name. Okay, now after that below this div we are going to add one more div, give this a class name of bg orange 50 and rounded lg p4, and inside this div we can add one more div, give this a class name of flex item center justify between and text sm. Okay, now inside this div we can add h1, and that would be pro stat, and then h2, and that would be last 90 days. Okay, now after that below this div add hr tag, give this a class name of my2, and then below this hr tag we are going to add a div, give this a class name of h of 70 pixels flex item center justify center text sm and my2. And now inside this we can add a button, so let's go here, add a button here. Okay, give this a class name of p3 and border of 1 pixels, border neutral of 700, rounded full, text white, and bg neutral of 800. Okay, and inside this we can write go pro to unlock. Now after that below this we can add a button. Okay, give this a class name of text axis flex item center space x2. Inside this we are going to have view all activities and add a icon, this will be arrow right, and the size will be of 10 pixels. And lastly below this div we are going to add one more div, give this a class name of space y2 empty2 and text neutral of 500. Inside that, add a p tag, write work preference, then p tag one more time. This will be for settings, and above this we are going to add a p tag, and that would be share work. Let's change this to link. href will be /uploads/new, and here we can add work. After that, we can add a hr tag, give this a class name of my2, and below that add a button, okay, and that would be sign out button. Give this a class name of mt6, and on clicking this we are going to sign out from Next-Auth React. Let's save. Let's go back to the neo bar, and here we can add that component. So this will be profile. Okay, so we need to go back here again, make this capital, and now we can import that here. User profile pop-up and pass on open profile model. Let's make that state here. So const, copy this and paste here. Set open profile model is equals to use state, type will be boolean, and initial value will be false. And then we can go again here and on hover, so on mouse enter we are going to make that true. Set open profile model to true, and on mouse leave we are going to make that false. Now let's save, and save this as well and this one as well. Okay, so we have our pop-up, but the position is wrong. Let's go again to the user profile, and this will be right. So okay, so now let's go here, and now the position is good. We have to now add the shadow, and for that we have to add this class. So I'm just going to go to global.css, and here I'm going to add this class. Okay, let's copy this and go to the neo bar. I think I made a spelling mistake, so I can replace this. Okay, now this is looking good. Let's make top 16, not 16. I think 12 would be better. Yeah, and now our text is not visible. Let's go again here and make the text. Okay, so this should be 500, and now this is good. Let's go here and make space y3 mt4, and let's give this a padding of 1, much better. Okay, now if I click on this, I'll be sign out from this. As you can see, I am now logged out from this application. Now if I go back to the upload section, as you can see, I am being redirected to the login page. Let's sign in again, and now this is showing. Okay, now one more thing that is not working here, and that is this part. So we have to go below and we have to pass the open profile model value here. Now let's save, and now when I hover this, what is happening? So when I mouse enter, this should be true and this should be false. So okay, so this should be leave on mouse enter. So, and now this is working like we wanted. I can go here and click on the share work, and I'll be redirected to the upload new page. And let's think this out, and when we click on this, okay, so in the smaller devices we do not have to redirect the user to the profile page. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a condition. So let's add one more div, wrap it outside this link, and I'm going to add one more div. Inside that we are going to have the same thing like this. Okay, let's copy and paste here, and now copy this as well, and I can remove the href, and this will be hidden above md, and this will be hidden below md, so max md hidden. So now let's save here, and let's go here, refresh the page, and when I click on this, we are going to see this pop up, but we are not going to be redirected to the profile page. Okay, and let's do one more thing. Let's go here and we can add one more link here for the profile page. So we can duplicate this, add a link, we can write profile href slash profile slash data dot user dot name. Okay, and now when I click on this, okay, so let's add a class name here and make this block, and same with this one. Okay, now let's click on the profile, and this is the profile page for the user. Okay, so now this is working, and with this we are done with our navbar. Okay, and now let's work on our bottom navbar. So this is our bottom navbar. Okay, and we can do many things from here. We can categorize our shorts from here, we can add a filter here, and many things. So now we are going to work on this bottom bar. Okay, so let's make one more navigation menu which will be bottom bar. Let's first make this a client component. Okay, so use client, and now let's start working on our JSX first. So give this div a class name, mxauto pt7 lgpx9 mtpx5 and smpx0. Okay, now after that, inside this add one more div, give this a class name of flex item center justify between relative, and inside this add one more div, add this a class name and text extra small mr20 and max sm mr10. Okay, now add a div here, give this a class name of relative, and inside that add one more div and give this a class name of flex item center justify between and border of 1 pixels p2 rounded lg and cursor pointer. Okay, now inside this div we are going to have a span, so add a span, give this a class name of pr5, and here we are going to write active items. So for now I'm going to write followings. So this is actually this part, following and new and noteworthy. So I'm going to write following for now, and after that we can add svg with motion. So we are going to use framer motion in this project as well to give some animations, and here I'm going to use that. So I'm going to first import motion from framer motion. Okay, and after that we need to make this state here. So let's go here, const is rotated set is rotated is equals to use state, type will be boolean, and then we can write false initially. Okay, and now let's add a function here. So when clicking on this, we are going to open a drop down here, so we can write on click handle filter. Let's make that function here. So const handle filter like this, and this will actually first make this is rotated to be true, and after that this is also make this drop down to be visible. So we can write set show filter to true. Okay, and let's make this state here as well. So const show filter set show filter, use state, type will be boolean, and initial value will be false. Okay, now let's go below, and after this div we are going to make that dialog, or you can say pop-up. So below this div we are going to add a div, give this a class name, and this will be like this. If the show filter is true, then we are going to make block, otherwise we are going to hide this hidden. Okay, and we can add absolute w of 48, bg white, z50, rounded lg. Okay, now inside this, now let's collapse this and this one as well. Inside this div we are going to have unordered list, so you will give this some classes of bg white, shadow md, py2, and rounded lg, and text neutral of 500. Now inside this we are going to have list, give this a class name of something like this. On hover we are going to make bg neutral of 300. Let's make one more state here, so that would be const active item set active item is equals to use state, type will be string, initial value will be following. Okay, now let's go below. On clicking this we are going to make set active item to following. Okay, so this is for following actually, so here we can write following as well. Now after that we can add a anchor tag around this, so this will point to following, and we can write this text inside this anchor tag. Okay, and give this a class name, so block and p2. Okay, after that we can just duplicate this, and now this will be new and noteworthy, so new and noteworthy, copy this and paste it here, and also change this to upload new. Okay, now let's save this and go back to our home page, and here we are going to add our bottom bar. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Okay, so this is looking something like this, and we have our options here. And let's go again here in the bottom bar, we are going to do one more thing, handle filter, and this will actually do this. So this will toggle the value is rotated, and this one as well, show filter. Okay, now this is good. Now let's go again here, and now after this div let me go above and collapse this. So after this div add one more div. Okay, and add a class name here as well. This is for active items, so we can write it like this, and this is for categories, so filter categories, so that we can know what we are doing here. After this, inside this div, add a div, and also here add overflow x auto. Okay, and now here we can add another list, give this a class name of flex row, and item center text neutral of 800, justify between, font medium, white space no wrap, scroll m0, and space x4, text extra small, and max md hidden. Okay, and inside this, let's add our categories. So these will be the categories. Okay, right now I'm writing it statically, but when we start rendering our short here, I'm going to fetch the categories from backend, but for right now I'm going to write it like this. Now we should have our categories here. Okay, now after that, actually this should be outside this div, so I'm going to make that here, and with this we will be able to have our categories over here. Okay, now after that, make one more div, add a class name here of ml20, max sm of ml10, and now inside this div we can add one more div. Okay, give this a class name of flex item center p of 1, px of 2, border of 1 pixels, and rounded full, and inside that we can add a svg like this. After that, below this svg, add a span, inside that we can write filters, and give this a class name of px2 text extra small. Now let's save, and we should have something like this. Okay, now let's go again here and item center. Okay, so now this is looking good. Now after that, when we click on this, we are going to show other filters as well, like tag, color, and other stuff. So we are going to make one more state here. So let's go above, and we can duplicate this. We can write other filter, and this one as well. Okay, let's go below, and on clicking this, we are going to make set other filter to true, or we can toggle this other filters. Okay, and now let's make that other filter. So here, add one more div, give this a class name, okay, like this, and check for if the other filter is true, then we are going to show this, otherwise we are going to hide it. Okay, and now let's make that here other filter .tsx. Now let's go to the bottom bar and import it here, and now let's work on our other filters. So let's go here, and we can remove this, add a class name of empty5, and inside this add a form. Okay, and give this a class name. So class name will be flex item center, justify between md space x7, max md will be grid, max md of grid calls 1, max md of w11 by 12, mx auto, max md of cap 5. After that, we are going to have an input, and type will be hidden. Okay, and then we are going to have a field set here. So give this a class name of relative w full. Now inside this, add a label, and here we can write tags. Okay, and add a class name here, font medium, and text small. After that, add a div here, add a class name of bg neutral of 100 mt1, rounded MD, hover ring 2, hover ring specific color, so color will be, and hover ring opacity will be of 50, cursor pointer, and inside this div add one more div, give this class name of flex row, item start, justify between, and p of 10 pixels. Now inside this we are going to have an icon which will be search icon, okay, and give this is a class name of text neutral of 500, font bold, and that's it, okay, and size will be of 20. And after that we can add our input, so input type will be search, so give this is a class name of focus outline none, pl3 bg transparent, and placeholder text will be small, text small, w full, and placeholder text neutral will be 400, okay. Now after that we can add placeholder, that would be search, and auto complete I'm going to make that off, and that's it for now. This is just the UI part. Now let's save and go back here. Right now nothing will happen. When we click on this we are going to see our tag, okay, and similarly we can add other field set, so I'm just going to copy that from my GitHub and paste it here. You can do the same because writing the same CSS is boring, so I'm just going to copy that. Okay, so now I have added other field set as well, and now let's save, and this is going to look like this, okay. And now let's make this responsive. So on the smaller devices we are going to actually remove this, so this is now being hidden as you can see. And one more thing, let's make this px6, okay, now this is better. And for the smaller devices I'm going to show the categories over here, so we can copy these and we can paste it just below this div, okay. And why this is not showing, okay, so we can remove this as well, okay. So this is how it is going to look. Let's give this empty 3, and this is much better. So this is how now this is going to look like in the smaller devices. And yeah, so otherwise px6 much better. And for the bigger devices we are going to make this disappear, so we can write max md would be hidden like this, okay. So this is better, okay. So with this we are actually done with our both navbar and the bottom bar. And now from the next video we are going to start working on this rendering part, okay. And for this we are going to use React query. So